everybody doing? You guys come on up in here. We've been waiting for a whole week for this. It's like Christmas, okay? Y'all, I know, listen, first of all, let me just say, y'all know I'm a hot mess. I am a hot mess. And, hey, I'd be the first to say that. Okay, welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in, everybody. I want you to like and share this video. You don't know who may need to hear this. Y'all come on in, come on up. let me share this out. Let me share this out. Okay. Let me share this with friends, girl. Cause look at him. You don't know who need to hear this. You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You don't know. You do not know. All right, so let me share. Hey, Rudy, come on in. Rudy, come on in here. You've been married 30 years. Come on, Bookies. Come on, okay? Let's share this. Let's share this. Yes, come on in, everybody. I got something good for y'all today. Come on in. We're going to get everybody just a couple minutes to just pop on in so we can get to talking about this, y'all. This is something, listen. Your girls having this discussion because it was something I much needed. Okay. So y'all come on in here. Hey, Rudy. I just said I'm a hot grease mess. Girl, I know, honey. Girl, I know. I know. You either love me or you don't. There is no in between for me. Okay. I'm just gonna say it just like that. Y'all come on in here. Hey, Miss Johnny. Come on in here, boo. This is gonna be a deep subject, and all of us need it. Men, women, girlfriends, boyfriends, y'all come up in here. I got a surprise for y'all, okay? Now, look at him. We're going to get everybody just one more minute, and then we about to go. We about to go. Did everybody click like and click share? Did everybody share it out? Did everybody share it out? I hope y'all did. Just share it out, auntie. Share it out, okay? I want y'all to share it out. Please share it out. Hey, Sharada. Hey, boo. Come on in, Sharada. We gonna, girl, look. Come on in here, bookies. Because we about to talk on today, okay? We about to talk on today. So I'll tell y'all what, I'll go ahead and I'll just get started introducing myself for those of you who do not know me. My name is Coach Venus Chandler, okay? I am the host of Coffee Chat, child. And yes, I love y'all all, okay? Now, your girl is a #1 international best-selling author. You can find all my books over on Amazon, or you can find them over on my website at KensuchiTransformations.com. Okay. Like I told you, I am a certified life coach. My niche is in trauma recovery. I assist women to help them get past the roadblocks that was caused by trauma. Girl, call me. I'll talk to you about it. I'm also a speaker, and I am a serial entrepreneur. I have a couple of businesses. Me and my husband, we co-own Sparks and Sparks Printing. We do all your t-shirts, mugs, hats, all that good stuff, right? Y'all hit us up. I also have, which is my boo thing, is Kensuchi Transformation Life Coaching Services. And I have several legs to that. One of them being my academy. And so my academy is where you can actually go and you could take some self-paced courses. And, like some people don't really want, coaching, right? One-on-one coaching. They like to do things on their own. So you can go right over there to my academy and you can actually take some self-paced courses over there. Now, another part of my baby is called Kensuchi Transformation Enterprises. What's that? Well, I'm glad you asked. That is my not-for-profit. And child, let me tell you, it is going to benefit so many women around the world, okay? So many women around the world. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But right now, I just want to tell everybody, hey, hi, what's up? When you come in, please say what's up to your girl so I know that you're there. Just don't be sitting there peeking, okay? Say hey so I know that you're there. Make sure you click like, click share, because you don't know who need this information. I'm just glad that I know this child personally, hunty, because I get from row seat. So listen, let me just read a little bit about who we got coming, okay? So Tamora K. Johnson, better known as Tam Boo, okay, is the author of a marriage-changing book titled The Marriage Policies and Procedures. And her passion lies with the improving, providing tools for couples to continue building or rebuilding the commitment necessary to sustain a thriving marriage or monogamous relationship. As she coins it, dating with a purpose, DWAP. Oh, I love it. She believes that her transparency can help someone's road to recovery, thus using opportunities to share her story with those willing to listen. Her greatest value, add to those assigned to her purpose, is offering the missing ingredient that she personally lacked before exchanging her own marriage vow. Woo woo. Tam was married for 14 years before she and her husband separated and then divorced. Even in that season of her life, Tam decided to use it to capitalize on giving God glory and encouraging others that is that their life is that there is life after divorce. She is currently writing the book Life After the D. Can't wait to get that. That will be released late October of this year, 2020. Okay, child. She has three beautiful daughters who have occupied front row seat in witnessing her be an exceptional example of a mother, wife, leader. Okay. She attributes her wisdom to the authoritative biblical principles found in God's God's found in God's holy word, along with her personal journey as girlfriend, fiance, wife, separated spouse, and divorcee. It is her life's mission to mentor, advocate, and improve the state of marriage entity on a global level. Honey, she said on a global level, child. That's going to happen, okay? Beginning first with the simple process of dating with a purpose. Tam is also the creator and host of what she knows to be a very needed and necessary platform for couples called Let's Be Clear Couples Discussion. This online couples talk show was designed to have real couples with real experiences sharing what and how they were able to navigate through the storms that are inevitable to happen. Ooh, child, me and my tongue. Thus giving the viewers hope and an opportunity to witness couples who have encountered valley moments, yet with work, were able to remain as one. That's bomb. Tam prides herself on offering tools that couples can add to their toolbox in effort to continuously rise. Her ultimate goal is to inspire and motivate couples to find personal fulfillment in their divine purpose so that they are better equipped to serve in a committed relationship and marriage. Girl, oh my God, oh my God. You guys listen, look at here. I want to introduce to Coffee Chat on tonight our beautiful, amazing, bomb.com Tamora, aka Tam Johnson. She is an author, speaker, relationship, and marriage coach. Hey, Boo. Hey.
Hey, Bookie.
How
Hey,
are
hun.
you, Auntie?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for, agreeing to do this. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Thank you
Of
for having me.
course. You are
Thank
so
you for this platform. Thank you. Just
yes.
thank you. It's not too many people that I know personally that have a love for just diving into trauma.
Right.
So trauma control. And
Yes.
that's what you've done. That's your
Yes.
niche. And I love it.
I like that what you said, trauma control.
Yeah.
So listen, Sam, I want you. We read your bio, girl. We get it. We understand that. But I just want to hear from your mouth. Who is Tam? Who is Tamora? What's up? Who are you? Introduce yourself to us, boo.
Hey guys, so as she said, I am Tam, Tamora, but I'm Tam. Call me Tam, right? No fluff with me. I'm real
Come on.
humble. I'm a humble chick that's trying to do what God has called me to do. You know, I have been designed and created to do a particular thing in the kingdom, and so as I continue to do this walk, helping couples become on more of one accord, I am allowing myself to hear God more daily,
Yes.
right? So as I move forward with Make It Rise is, well, RISE is an acronym for Rebuild Intentionally and Strategically for Effectiveness, right?
Oh, wow. Woo.
So that my ministry is to just create and design a platform where we're changing the view of how society has defined marriage in a nutshell. And we know that the definition usually comes from your personal experience or something you've read, something you've seen, right? But I want to give you something. I want to give you what God says that it should be, and give you something to weigh it out with, right? And so I do that with different vehicles. My books, Life After the D, it will be releasing at the end of this month. I'm super excited about
got my copy. Well, I got my.
And I know we say it's life after divorce, but I'm not talking about divorce. I want you to understand that in that book, I'm talking about the woman. It's a women's devotional, right? But it's the devotional where I am trying to assist women becoming whole again. Because many times when we get married, we put so many things about ourselves on a shelf and we leave it there because that's what society has told us we're supposed to do, right?
Right.
But I want us to remember that you have to be whole still, married or not, you still have to be married. I mean, you still have to be whole. But with my book, the Marriage Policies and Procedures, that book is for the married couples to help you, assist you in creating and building your own procedures, right? I want you to understand that everything that you need is in you or right at your fingertips. And what do I mean when I say right at your fingertips? Platforms like this, platforms like my talk show, Let's Be Clear. There's so many things that are being made available to us today where it's like, really, there's no excuse. If your marriage is in the dumps, it's probably because of you. And I'm just going to keep it real. It's because you aren't willing to do the work. You got to get your hands dirty sometimes, right? It's not always going to be easy and fun and happy. So that would, lead me into asking, while you were dating with a purpose, did you really understand what dating with a purpose meant, right?
Yes.
And with that, before you said I do, did you go to premarital counseling? So it's just so much to this thing.
And that's crazy because I remember when I first seen seen DWAP, I'm like, well, what's DWAP? What is that? So a lot of people don't understand what DWAP is, and they don't even understand what it stands. What does DWAP stand for?
Awesome. DWAP is dating with a purpose.
Dating with a purpose.
Dating with a purpose. So we can date, we can date for fun. We can date to pass time. We can date because I'm hungry and that's the dude or the girl that's going to pay for those meals, right? We can have all of those things going on for us. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But when you know that you are a purpose or you have a purpose in dating, as in going to the next level in this relationship, like the goal is marriage, right? But we all know that anyone can have a goal, but there is a process into getting to that goal. There's things that have to take place. And when you're dating with the purpose, you're being intentional. You're asking questions, those hard questions that may put the other person in an uncomfortable position because I really never gave that any thought, or no one ever really asked me that. I was never really held accountable to respond to something like this. Or, when someone does something in particular that just kind of have you question it, you question it, right? So when you're dating with the purpose, there is a reason for what you're doing. There's a reason for me sitting on the other side of the table from this person that I'm dating. It's almost like an interview. Right. And you know what? I'll go on to say that even, because in an interview, what happens? When you're in an interview, they are asking you questions to see how well or what do you know about this position that you're applying for? Right. What is your expertise in this position? And what are the failures you've had in this position, and what are the things that you have grown to in this position? And tell me some of the things that you've had to encounter while you did this position before that didn't turn out so right. And then what was your response? How did you fix that, right? So these are some of the things that you ask when you're in an interview or answer while you're in an interview. And so it's the same thing. And I'll even say that once you say I do, do not stop dating. Do not quit dating with a purpose. You still have to continue to date with a purpose, right? Right. Because the person that you said I do to 5 years ago has grown. You have grown. Things begin to shift. It's inevitable, excuse me, it's inevitable that things are going to change.
Yeah.
And if we aren't willing to be a teacher and a student in our relationships, then we are going to fail the test.
Right. It is so crazy that you, listen, talking about this dating with a purpose, I want to ask you this. Do you think that women, men who have gone through trauma, okay, do you think that has an effect on dating with a purpose? Because what I see, what I want to know, and this is what the subject is today, is we're talking about coping versus healing, but while dating with the purpose. So my question is, do you think that trauma that we've gone through, like say for instance me, I was in multiple abusive relationships, right? Do you think that would have an effect on me dating with the purpose, or would that shift that a little bit?
Absolutely it will. Absolutely, it definitely will. No one can expect you to forget the things that you've encountered. No one should expect you to not use this as a gauge when you go in meeting, dating someone. It's unfortunate that people say, and I've said it before, I'm guilty, that we say, leave that in the past. And yes, leave that in the past, but at the same time, we're human. And so we are going to be reminded if there are some triggers, if there are some things that he or she does while you're in this process, it's going to come up, right? So coping versus healing. What is coping? What is, what is healing? Yes. And so when we talk about the two, I always say that, I used to say that you either cope or you heal. You're either coping or you're healing, right? But in my studies here lately, and just the more that I pray and the more that I get before God and ask him to show me what this thing is really about, I've learned that coping and healing can look the same to the people on the outside, but it feels totally different to the person that's actually walking through that thing, right? Yes. So it has the same look. Yeah. And so coping is nothing more than dealing effectively with something that is difficult. Right. Right. So you're doing it effectively. So it looks like you got it going on. Exactly. Come on, like you've gotten over those things that, hurt you, or those things that pain you. But listen at this. So God gave me this last night, and I just was like, wow. He says, so the process of getting to recovery, because see, here's the thing, it's coping, healing, and then recovery. God says when someone goes into the hospital injured, he says when they go into the hospital with an injury, the first thing that is done, they're administering medications if necessary, if needed. That is the coping process, right? So when these medications are being entered into you intravenously, there's a coping mechanism that's going on. Your body begins to relax. Whatever that injury is, the pains, right? That pain medicine is bringing it down, correct? And then he says, and then as a result of taking that medicine, your body begins to heal as a result of getting the medication. He says, but it's still not over. He says, and then you have to go into recovery, right? He says, when you go into recovery is when you will be able to go back out into the world and do what you were doing prior to coming into this thing injured. So it's a process. There is no getting around coping, right? You have to cope. There's two strands of coping, sis. There's two strands of coping. One strand is the strand where we put the mask on and we say we want them to think that we're good. That's strand number one. Strand number two says you have to be it before you see it, right? Strand number two says, I know that this is what I am going through. I am encountering this thing. However, I know God is going to make a way. He's going to bring me out of this. He's going to be my keeper. He's going to be my provider. He's going to be my peace. He's going to be my love, my joy, right? He is going to mend these pieces back together. That's strand number two. And that is the strand that we should desire to be in. Because so what people think, what you're going through and how you look while you're going through it. What's important is your posture with God. Right? And so coping, healing, and then recovering. So important to know that those are three different processes that we're going to have to go through. And guess what? It's just like grieving. There's some times where you may be coping, healing, recovering. Oops, I'm healing. Oops, I'm coping. Oops, it's not necessarily in one specific order, and I'll tell you why. Because I may be coping in the area of accepting someone's love, how they love me, but I am totally healed in another area of my life, right? So there's compartments to this thing.
Yes.
God is not just one-sided. He's multifaceted.
Yes.
And we need to understand that because of who he is, right?
Yes.
So are we.
Yes.
God says, who I am, you are. But we have to believe this thing in order for us to actually begin to walk in this thing. And that's the healing process.
Right.
That coping process is, Lord, that's you talking to God. Okay. Or I'm going to be real with you. There's some folks out there that's just not believers. Let's just keep it all the way real.
Yeah.
So you may have someone that's not a believer, but I got my girl that's going to speak some knowledge to me. That's going to say, you got this, you're good, come on, it's going to be good. You're going to get through this. You have someone that is helping you through that coping process, right? So it's the same thing for my believers, my unbelievers. There is no judgment here. I love the process is the process.
Right. Wow, girl. Woo, auntie. I need to schedule a session with you. But look, I got a question though. When you are talking about coping versus healing, do you suggest, or is there anywhere in there where you can start dating? Like, or do you suggest that you should wait until you at least get to that recovery process when you're in the recovery room and you're recovering, and then you can start dating? Or do you suggest that you just wait until you are complete with all these processes? Because I know for me, girl, listen, I started dating again in the coping season, honey, time and time again. Okay.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
Absolutely. And so did I.
Yeah.
Hello. I did too. So you're not in that boat by yourself. But here's the thing. I thought I was healed, girl. I thought I was healed. And it wasn't until I started writing my book, The Marriage Policies and Procedures, where things began to trigger me. And I realized that I was coping, right?
Wow.
And that's how you know if you're coping or healing. But here's the thing. I wouldn't say don't. Is it best to wait? Absolutely. But how do you know if you're healing, if you've recovered, if you are not put in a position to show if you are healing, coping, or recovered?
Right.
So you may think, just as I did, that you are healed, you are in recovery, right? And then something happens, and it's a trigger, something that you thought you were over, and then you are thrown back into coping mode, right? Because don't ignore it. Don't ignore it, even if you're in the midst of dating with a purpose. My thing is, communicate that to the person that you are dating with a purpose. The purpose is for us to get to know what those triggers are, for us to get to know what's going on. This makes you do this when I do that, right? And so if we aren't open enough to have that type of transparent conversation with the person that we're sitting across the table from, or we're sitting in life with, then we are setting ourselves up to continue to go back to the painting place, back to coping, we're just continuing to go back to that same place.
Wow. Well, Tam, let's stop a second and let's say hi to some folks. Reintroduce yourself. Let's see what people got to say. Everybody is here. Hey, Miss Johnny May. Hey, Sharada. We say hey to y'all already. Hey,
guys.
We got Miss Zanetta. Hey, Zanetta. Thank you for joining us. Hey, Monty. Thank you for joining us, honey. Let's see. We got Miss Johnny Dang. That is my niece. Hey, Sharday. Hi, Miss Jessica. Hi, Shayna Snow. That's my niece. That ain't her name, but that's her. That's my niece, girl. Hey, Jeff. Hi, dear. How are you, hon? Hi, Miss Sandra. And Loving Kimmy says, even when I thought I was finished coping, once I started dating, the stuff happened or came back to surface. You just got done saying that.
Yeah.
Hey, Shawnee. Hey, Eric. Hey, brother. So listen, I think you answered this question, and let's go over here to what Loving Kimmy said. Loving Kimmy said that she thought when she finished coping
Mm-hmm.
She started dating and that stuff happened again. And you just said that. You just said
Mm-hmm.
that there could be
Yeah, that's because that's real. That's real. I always think about when we are, if you've ever had someone who has passed away that you were really close to,
yes.
um, the grieving process, they say it's what, 7 steps to grieving, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
But those steps are not always in order.
Yes.
You can be at step 1, 5,
Yes.
6, 2, something happens, something, you smell something, you see
Yes.
something so here's the thing, and I have to be just real honest,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So what happened with me, where with my situation, it happened in a place in church where I was going every Sunday. So I was put in a position to see it
I've been
weekly,
there. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So every week I was being worked on. Every
Yes.
week I was being nudged. Every week
Woo!
I was able to weigh where I was. Like, oh, last week I wanted to throw a shoe. I mean, let's
Yes.
be real. Oh, this week I just wanted to roll my eyes,
Yes.
so I was able to gauge it in that manner. But here's the thing. Once I began to date someone with the purpose, there were small things that my honey would do that I automatically put the jacket on of the past
Oh
relationship
my
because
God,
it was a
girl.
trigger. It was a
Yes.
trigger. And so how unfair is that to him? And he's like, wait, what did I do? Right? Oh,
Yes.
I know, I saw you, But no, I wasn't speaking to Eric. I was speaking to my ex.
Yes.
I was, I was
Yes.
speaking to him, the person
Yes.
I saw, but because I hadn't healed, I was still coping. I was still hurt. So it
Yeah.
wasn't even the coping, because in
Yeah.
coping,
Yeah.
you're able to effectively
Yeah.
navigate through that
Yeah.
thing. And when you're doing it effectively, you are able to talk to yourself. You have self-conversation. Like,
Yes.
okay, don't say it, don't trip, pull yourself together. You looking in the mirror like, get it together, Shantae, get it together,
Yeah.
right? That's coping.
Yeah.
Hurt and still in that place
Yeah.
will have you say it. You don't
Yes.
think, you just spew it out. You just say
Ooh.
it, right?
Yes.
Hence process.
Yes.
So allow that thing to help you gauge your growth.
Mm-hmm.
And don't beat yourself up. If you find yourself, I'm doing good. Woo, I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Okay. And then 2 months later, something happened and you respond the way that you would have. Amen. It just lets me know that I got comfortable.
Right.
Many times we think once we have coped, right? Oh, I'm healed. Oh, it's a miracle. I'm healed, right?
Yeah.
And then something happens where we stop working on that. There has to be a maintenance program that goes on after this coping, right? You have to maintain the coping so that you can effectively get to the healing process, right? Continue to maintain that thing. When we go into the hospital and they give us these meds, right? You may start off at, I don't know, 15 milliliters. I don't know. But as the pain drops, guess what happens? They drop the amount of milliliters that they're giving you to one day, voila, she is good. We can send her home with a couple of Tylenol and you use as needed.
Yes.
Listen,
come on.
Use it as it's needed.
Yes.
So that goes to show that you will sometimes revert back to the coping and the healing process. I am just saying, guys, come on with it.
Yeah. And you know what is so crazy? When you was talking about the issue with your ex-husband in the church, I went through a similar thing. I was married in my church, and I have been with my church for quite a few years. And even after the divorce happened, it took me a minute. I was hurt and all that good stuff, but I also had to face him. I had to face him. I had to face his new wife. And I mean, I had to deal with that. And I found myself bouncing between coping and healing. I did. I can honestly say that. And I didn't even understand that until just now, as you're teaching on this subject. It's so crazy, because I can remember some days I come in there and like, I'm cool, whatever, right? And then there's some days I come in there and I'm looking at the back of his bald head while she rubbing the back of his bald head. And I'm thinking I'm going to throw this Bible at both of y'all. That's okay. And now I get it. But now it's like, I know that I'm in a healed space. I'm totally healed from that. I'm way past that, right? But I can
Right.
honestly say that when me and the beginning of me and my husband's relationship, he sort of kind of paid for some of that stuff, like you said. I
Yeah.
brought some of that baggage on over there. Oh, I can remember when my ex-husband did that, but
Yeah.
what you doing, right?
Yeah. It's a familiar feeling.
Yes, yes. So, girl, I am so glad that I am healed from that. So, I want to know, what do you think? What do you think? Wait a minute, let me see. Because I got some questions for you. I got some questions for you.
Hmm.
So, how do you know if you are coping versus healing? How do you
Right.
really know?
Yeah. So as I said earlier, one of the main clues, there's no way around this. When you have to talk to yourself through a certain circumstance or through a
Yes,
certain
yes,
situation versus it just being a genuine response,
yes,
you're
yes.
coping. If
Ooh,
I see my ex-husband and he, walks up, well, today he and I are friends, so that's irrelevant. But at the time when I was coping,
yes.
I had to have the talk with Tam
Hmm.
before going in church.
Yeah.
Like it was a straight up conversation. Like,
Yes.
okay,
Mm,
T, this is okay. You're gonna be good. You're gonna see
yeah.
this. You're gonna do that. People are expecting. You're gonna
Yeah.
feel the eyes.
Yeah.
I
Mm,
had to have that conversation with myself while
yeah.
coping.
Yeah.
But it was something about phasing over into healing where it was like, I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
I don't care.
Hmm.
I see you see me.
Yeah.
Watch, right?
Right.
And I see him and come here.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
how you doing?
Hmm.
And her too.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
Hmm.
That's when I
Exactly.
knew the healing had arrived, right? But
Ooh,
let me tell
wee.
you what got dangerous. Tam didn't add the maintenance package to the healing.
Ah,
She
you got
added maintenance
comfortable.
package to the coping, but
Okay.
she didn't add the maintenance package to the healing. And so when I
Wow.
began to write my book, that's what God told me. He said, because
Yes.
when I was writing the book, it just something didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And I was like, Lord, I don't know. This book just feels like just
Yeah.
book, right?
Yeah.
And he says that's because you're trying
Yeah.
to write from a healed place.
Yes.
He says, go back to that hurt place and
Yes.
write from there so that you can be effective, right?
Yes.
And when I did that, there were so many doors that opened. There were so many things that he told me about me, not
Yes.
about him, not
Yeah.
about the
Hmm.
woman, not about
Hmm.
anyone else.
Yeah.
He had to show me. And I had to, at that time,
Hmm.
talk to the guy, my guy,
Hmm.
hey, wait a minute. You
Hmm.
know what?
Yeah.
I know that I said and we
Yes.
did and all of that,
Yeah.
but God shared some things with me.
Hmm.
And here's the thing, when you are dating with a purpose,
Hmm.
you got to be sure that you're dating with the purpose with someone who is dating with a purpose.
Come on now. Come on.
Yeah. And
Yes.
that wasn't
But
my
how
case,
do you know that? How do you know that though? How do you know that that person is dating with a purpose?
because you're going to ask those questions.
Come
You're going to
on.
ask, that's a question. If you know that's what you want, there is nothing there. We shouldn't even get past day 2,
Right.
day 1
Right.
without that question because
Right.
that's a time waster,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
some people think, yes, I'm dating with a purpose. Yeah, I know what I want. I want long term. I want marriage. Right? But then no, depending on the individual, you have to be very specific and
Yes.
clear
Yes.
about what that looks like when dating you. Like for me, I had to be real clear about this is what dating with the purpose looks like dating me,
Right.
right? I am a woman of faith. I like to have fun, don't get me wrong, all those things, but I know how the attack of the enemy comes upon me. And sometimes not even an attack of the enemy, but God strengthening me, right? God pulling me, the rubber band that he's designed me to be. Sometimes he has to stretch me. And in order for him to stretch me, I have to go through some things. And so as a man that is dating me, you are attached to me and you are going to, you're going to feel some of this stuff, right? And as the man, I'm going to kind of hold you accountable to be that man to cover me, to hold me down in these times, right? And so I had to be very clear with him. And he was like, yeah, no, I got that.
Yeah.
But as soon as those times hit, I will tell you, he was like, whoa, wait a minute, right? I got you, but this is not what I expected. I'm still in,
Yeah.
but When I said I knew, I didn't know. I thought I knew.
Yeah.
And so it's very imperative that you just give them the heads up on that, because sometimes we do think we know, right? I thought I knew with my honey having different traumas or whatever. I got this, like, you know, I'm a praying woman. We gonna do this, that, and the other. Right. But even with that was that was a lot. That was a stretch, right? Because I thought I knew what that felt like and looked like, but I didn't. You don't know until you're actually in those shoes.
Mm-hmm. Right. And you know something? I'm telling you, this is so delicious because I'm writing notes for myself. Because you know, me and my husband, next month is our 2nd year wedding anniversary. And we've been together coming up on 4 years, right? And I'm telling you, like, I need this. The one thing that we did fall off on, I'm thinking that we didn't continue to date with
your volume is low.
Uh-oh. Hold on 1 second. I may have to can you hear me now?
It's low, but
it's still low. Let me take this.
Yeah. Ask your people, can you hear me?
How about now?
Ask your viewers, can they hear you? Yeah, that's perfect.
Oh, can you guys hear me? Okay.
You're fine. You're fine now.
I'm good now? Okay, I took this earpiece out. Cool.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think what happened even with me and my husband, I mean, like, we're good, don't get me wrong, but I think we still forgot to date with a purpose. Because you said that. You said that you have to continue to date with a purpose even after you get married. That's pertinent. I really believe that. When me and him fell out, I realized that we started growing apart. And then we actually had to call in our marriage coach and be like, hey, we need some maintenance, okay? And that's one of the things that, you know, he said. So what we did, we made a deal. We was like, every Saturday is your day, whatever you want to do, that's our day, right? If you don't have nothing planned, then okay, maybe I might do this, that, and the other. But on Saturday, that's our day. That's my day to show you that, you know, you're number one, to get talk, to whatever we choose to do on that day, right? And so that's very, very important.
It's very important. I wanted to say something. You just said on that day is the day that we show each other. And yes, but I want the viewers to know that is just the designated day, but it doesn't negate the other days, right? Exactly. It doesn't mean that, but this day we have set for us, there's nothing that should come between us unless we agree upon it. That's just like fasting. When you are married and you are fasting, you know, you are only supposed to fast for so long, and then you got to pull back from that, because the enemy will use that to drive a division between you, right? So something you're doing to be so amazing and great and building your marriage, or just you as an individual, the enemy will use even that. So you know, with fasting, you're not, as a married couple, you don't have sex. Right. And so when you pull away from having sex, you know, that's a whole nother different detachment. Right. So after so many days or whatever, you guys have to be in agreement, though. You come back together. But yeah, I love the fact that you said, wait a minute, we weren't dating with a purpose. You know, there's so many. How many things have you began to do since the day you said I do? That's just related to Venus. You have so many businesses going on, right? So you're studying things, you're reading things, you have new friends, new colleagues. There's different things different things about you that weren't necessarily in the forefront of your mind the day that you said I do, or while you guys were dating with the purpose. And so it's only fair for you to say to him, or for you to teach him who you are becoming, and ask him to be a part of, right? And even if that being a part of is just him supporting you by listening to you do a mock speech, whatever that thing looks like for you at your house is what it's going to take. I always say that, you know, my guy is my baby daddy, okay? Like, he gonna get the Pampers, the milk, he gonna get all those things, right, for my baby, and I'm gonna take care of the baby. But when I need somebody to babysit the baby, right, if I need you to watch the baby, I know that you can, and I can go out with my girls. That's my desire. My desire is that you know it, and not that I want you to do it, but you know it enough where if someone said, what is it that your wife do? That my husband would be able to say, she does this. And I mean, she do something. I mean, it's some with relationships.
Right.
You laughing, but yeah, it was a reality.
No, for real.
You know, so dating with the purpose does not stop once you say I do. Here, listen at this. Love gets you to the altar, but staying committed to the commitment is what keep you once you leave the altar.
Yes.
And the
Yes.
commitment is to continue to
Yes.
love him, love her the way Christ loved the church, and for her to submit to her own husband.
Yes.
There's so many things in the word that will show you what you're supposed to be doing. This ain't no guesswork, right?
Yes.
We don't know the circumstance that's going to come to us in
Right.
our relationships or in our marriage, but God has laid the foundation for us to build on. And so shame on us when we don't use that foundation.
Right. Girl, let's say hi to some more folks. Oh, this is so delicious. Hey, Anjanette. Hi, Miss Johnny Mae. Hey, Joycey. Sandra said, I just had this whole conversation with a male friend who was jacked up by a bad marriage. Girl, look at here. Miss Sandra said, this is good stuff. Loving Kimmy said triggers are real. Yeah, huh? Girl,
They are.
Honey, we could do a whole show on triggers.
Just called triggers.
Show on triggers. Okay. Miss Sandra said, problem is people don't know the different stages. They don't know if they're coping or healing.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That's true. And I didn't know. Hey, Curtis, I didn't know either because until actually, you know, I started being taught. I started actually researching on this, getting ready for this show, and I'm like, well, I just be dang. I didn't realize, but y'all hold on, because I got a question for Tam because we about to argue. Hold on. Let's Sandra said, woo, Jesus. Back to the hurt place. He'll take you there. He'll show will. And Debbie says, oh, that makes sense. A lot of sense. Right from the hurt place. Right from the hurt place, right. And Loving Kim said, ask those questions, Boo. That's right. That's right. Ask those questions. Mr. Eric says, DWAP means asking for those tough and pertinent questions. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so you guys can hear me okay, right? Okay, cool. Nice. Hi, Miss Annette. How you doing, honey? Hi, Miss Annette. Brother said, you have to be deliberate, intentional when dating your partner or spouse. Come on. You better say it. Anya says, do I share my triggers with my new boo?
That's a good question.
Okay, that is a good question.
We can
I'm going to go ahead and let Tam answer that question because I got a good question for her, and we may just argue on this live on tonight, y'all. So go ahead, Tam.
I'm arguing with you. So she said, do you let your new boo know what your triggers are?
Yeah.
That's a very good question. And so here's the thing. You got to be real careful, mindful, and discerning with that. So you have to have a discerning spirit. You need to know the person that you're sitting across the table from. Yes. And you don't know that person because this is date number one. We're going to say that, right? Right. And so here's the thing. Before going on to this date, you should have already had that conversation with God that says, show me. Right? You should have already had that conversation that says, give me the eyes where I can see the things that I need to share and not share. That's just like in my book. There's a whole lot of stuff that I didn't share because God told me no. So just because it is something that has happened or is a trigger doesn't mean you need to share that, because you may have ran into a person who will use that, right? In the relationship.
Keep it real.
Yeah, they will use that thing in a relationship. They know that you are weak to a man that buys you a lot of things. And so that's what he'll do. He knows that you are weak to a thing where a man just rubs your head and now it sends something through your body and makes you, he will use that thing. And so I say this, spend some time dating God. Spend some time dating yourself with a purpose, right? First and foremost, and then when you get to the point of having to share those triggers, you will know which ones to share and which ones are just not yet, you shouldn't be sharing just then. If you are a believer, you definitely need to date God with a purpose first.
Yes.
And let him show you and tell you what to say, what not to say, when to say it, where to say it, what to wear, what not to wear, what locations to be,
Yes.
right? There's so many
Yes.
things that have to take place prior to going into this relationship or dating with the purpose, not a relationship. Because here's another thing. Just because I'm in this relationship with this guy and I'm saying we're dating with the purpose doesn't mean that he is the purpose.
Yes.
Listen. So I'm going to say that again. Just because you are, so don't feel stuck. Don't feel like, I done told people that this guy, I'm dating him with the purpose, or this woman, I'm dating her with the purpose, so I'm stuck. No, you're not. You're dating with the purpose of finding out if this is the person that God has designed for you. And if it's not, no harm, no foul. It's okay. It's okay. What I will say is, sex, okay? Sex before marriage. We're going to go ahead and just put that on the table.
Ooh,
sex before marriage is a whole, that's a whole nother level of connecting. That's a whole nother level of being attached and so much harder to detach. Because what is sex? Consummation is marriage.
Right.
Consummation is marriage. So when you have sex with someone, you have just, not under God, so that's what makes it wrong. You have just consummated, you have just married this man or this woman, but not under God's protection, right? And so there's a difference. And once we start having sex with someone, it becomes harder to remove ourselves from that relationship. Right. And so you're gonna reap I'm saying benefits, but you're gonna reap the things that he or she has about them. They're generational curses. You're gonna look up one day and be like, where did this come from? Why do I do this? Why do I say that? Why do I because of that spirit that has been intertwined with yours. You got to be mindful of that.
Yes. Girl, this is so deep, and I really wish that I could have found you years ago, but of course.
No. Years ago, I was hurting coping.
Come on. Okay.
You didn't need me years ago. Trust me.
Right.
Yeah, we needed each other years ago. Years ago, we needed each other. Keep it real, right? God was teaching me in this process. And even in the coping process, God didn't let me stop doing what he called me to do, because he says, your status has nothing to do with your purpose. I've purposed you to do this, which means that if I purposed you to do it, the journey is going to be something that is not normal. It's not going to be usual. It's going to hurt, but I got you while we're going through this journey. But years ago, I wasn't here.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you said that. Here's what this is the question that I have. Do you really believe that there is a such thing as being healed?
Do I believe? Absolutely.
Because I don't.
I know you don't. I knew you was ready to say that fast. I don't. Yes, I believe there is a such thing as being healed. And I say that because God said it in his word, be healed.
Yeah. Okay.
And I believe if it's not so, it wouldn't be in his word. But I definitely understand what you're talking about.
Yes.
I think we've had this conversation before so here's the thing. The triggers that bother you are in the ing.
Yeah.
Healing.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
Healed means you're now recovering.
Yeah.
So there's a difference. So if I am healing, there are things that can probably still trigger me. There are things that still have me like, I'm not really comfortable with that. But if I am healed, I'm healed.
Yeah.
And I am in recovery. So it's the difference. So I think more of what you're talking about is the ing and not the ed.
Yeah, because this is my take on it. I feel like there's always a healing process that's taking place, right? I can't see a mountaintop where it's like, ta-da, I've made it. Because I think like, even still now, I'm not going to say that, of course, I have triggers. There's triggers. Do those triggers affect me the way that they used to? Nope, sure don't. Matter of fact, a lot of times I could be like, and brush it off, right? But then there may be days
where I'm feeling low about myself and I don't feel good and I am sad. And then I think about that and that those emotions come up and I'm crying all over again in 2, 3, 4, 5 days, maybe a week. Okay, so that's why I'm saying that to me, I believe that there's always a process of healing, but I don't believe there is no healed.
Okay. And I get it. And so what I would say to that is during those times is when God is saying, now come to me. Now come talk to me. Now come pray with me. Now come trust me. Now come remember how you felt yesterday. That's the time where God is saying, now I am speaking to you directly. Your back is up against the wall. You're feeling, right? God don't deal with our feelings. So when we're in our feelings, when we are in our feelings, he stand back and say, okay, I'm gonna let you go ahead. And he's not patting us on the back like, oh, babe, I know, I get it. But he does know, and he does get it, right? He says, I knew this before it was gonna happen. He says, I put you in this position to feel this way, right? So that you can come back to me. He says, sometimes I got to have you feel that thing again because I need to draw you back. Sometimes we get away from up under him, right? And then we begin to do, say, feel all these things that's not of God. And God says, you're my child. So I'm always going to bring you back. I'm always going to remind you. He says, you're always going to have something to remind you of feeling healed. Because you just said it. You was like, I have days where I'm like, I'm good. It means nothing. But then I have days where I'm like, I think about, God says, and those are the days that I just need you to come to me. It's not about us, sis. It's about having a better relationship with him. It's about creating, it's about going to the next level with him and giving him the glory and the praise and the honor. Because when we are feeling those, because I have them too. When we are feeling down, God is saying, but remember what I can do. My God. God says, remember what I can do. He says that I can change anything. I just need you to be reminded of that. He says, and if I can't send something your way that is so that touches you personally, then how can I get to you, right? He says, I can send someone to you as a coach and they can spill the beans and tell you about what they're feeling, what they're going through, and you are in coach mode. And you're going to give them, you may speak of me and you may just speak principle depending on who you're talking to, right? He says, but when it comes to you and your family, he says, you're going to draw into me. That is going to be the thing that get you to me. Is your past experiences, not what's going to happen, right? So what we think about what's going to happen, we have a vision and we have goals, and all of those things are usually things that are great, things that are big, things that are going to help us go to the next level in our marriage and our businesses, right? God says you don't think out thinking about the bad things that are going to come. We think about the great things that are going to come, right? He says, so sometimes I have to have you not go back to those things. He says, you're not going to be like Lot's wife. He says, you're not going to look back and turn into a pillar of salt. He says, you're just going to remember what I did when you felt that thing, right? He says, so that when it comes to what's ahead of you, you can worship and praise me, but you're going to worship and praise me before you even get there. Listen, he said, so I had to remind you of that thing or allow you to put yourself back into that, because we do. We start thinking about stuff. It ain't nothing that God told us to think about, but we start thinking about things, and it put us in a position of feeling some type of way, right? And God says, you right where I need you to be. You're right where I need you to be. Now it's time for you to think about how I brought you out of that thing. Don't forget about that, right? And so when you talk about healing, healed, it's a difference. Healing is you're still in the process. Healed is you've gotten over that. You know, you can tell somebody how to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because you've experienced it, you've encountered it. And not saying that because you went through it from A, B, C, and D, the next person has to do it that same exact way, sis. But what it means is that there is hope. There is hope. If you got through it, then I can get through it. Right. You know what I'm saying?
And I was going to ask you too, how do you transition? How do you transition from coping to healing? How does that happen? I mean, what does that look like?
You know what? And remember I said that coping and healing has the same face for people on the outside.
Right.
Coping and healing has a different face for the person that is walking through that thing. So one day you will have that butterfly in your stomach. You will have
Yeah.
that anger. You will have that rage, right?
Yeah.
The next day it won't be as extensive. It won't be so much, right?
Yeah.
Every time you encounter that thing, that thought, that smell, whatever it is, you will feel yourself phasing into the healing. Like, oh, I didn't even respond to that like I usually would, right? And then you begin to pat yourself on the back. Good job, Tam. Good job, Venus. Okay, you didn't snap. You didn't roll your eyes. Oh, this time you just kept walking. You pretend like they were a piece of the furniture, right? Sometimes that's what you gotta do. But that's when you learn that it's process. That's when you learn that I am actually, oh my God, I'm phasing into this healed thing. And then you'll begin to speak it out, right? Without crying, without feeling angst, without getting tight, without sweating. You'll be able to talk about that thing no matter who is standing there, right? And you'll know that you have now arrived to the healing process.
Yes. Ooh, sis, this has been so deep and so good. Girl, we can go on probably for another hour. I'm not going to even lie. I wrote down me some good notes. I love the fact when you was talking about the coping versus coping, going from coping to healing to recovery. That right there, it hit home with me. And it's almost like a baby can understand that. A baby can understand it. And now I can even understand like what category I was in when I was even going through some of my mess. I also like the fact that you was talking about the pillars, about the mask, the one with the mask, and then the other one is when you said, "Be it before you see it." I mean, like you made it so. Listen, a 2-year-old can understand this. This was so simple to the point. And you know, for a lot of women out there who are now like single, and because the thing is, if you look around, you see a lot more people my age that's out there really trying to date, you know, and a lot of times there's no answers. These men out here and women too is out here playing games. So you got to be on your game. You have to know exactly what you're going for. You have to DWAP. You have to date with a purpose, with an exclamation point. For real. Okay?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Listen, tell us what's up. What's next? What's coming next?
Well, as I said earlier, when we first started, my book, Life After the D, will be dropping at the end of this month. Pre-sales are available right now for just $12. I'll drop in where you guys can grab it from. But that is something that I'm working on. I'm working on some courses, some online courses. And God is really working with me, just trying to show me where I'm supposed to be. I'll be honest, there's some things that I had to question God. Well, not question him, I was questioning myself. So I had to go to God and ask him specifically, like, Lord, okay, I know this is what I want to do, but what do you need me to do, right? Because I'm all about the need of him. And I can do a whole bunch of stuff. Like, I know that. I know that he has given me a gift, right? I know he has anointed me in areas that I have not even accepted all of yet, but I know, I already know, right? And so I had to ask God, like, as far as teaching, Lord, I need you to show me how to teach, right? Show me how to teach where they're getting it. Like you just said, it was so plain. I had to, that was something I had to go to God about. Like, show me how to do that thing. And I want to be Tam. I don't want to be Venus. I don't want to be Terry. I don't want to be Shauna. I want to celebrate all of them. But I don't want to move until you tell me to move, you know? And so right now I'm waiting on God's hand to tell me to move.
I know that's right. So listen, if anybody wanted to get in touch with you, like I want some of that coaching, well, how can they get in touch with you?
Absolutely. So I am on Facebook, I am on Instagram, and I'm on Twitter. On Facebook and Instagram, I am under Make It Rise. Okay. And on Twitter, it's Tamora Johnson. But I can also be emailed at makeitrise2015@gmail.com, or you can go to my website, tamorajohnson.com. There is a section in there that you can leave a message if you want me to contact you, if you want me to speak, if you want me to teach, whatever it is that you want, just go ahead and add that in the comments, and I will respond to you within 24 to 48 hours.
And you also said something about your couple show. Let's be clear. What time of day is that on? And what time of day is that? And where can we find that show?
Absolutely. So Let's Be Clear is on Facebook Live and YouTube, which is Make It Rise. Let's Be Clear is on every other Friday. So we were on this past Friday, so we won't be on until 2 Fridays from now. Okay. And we are live on there. You can catch the replay on there as well. You can catch the replay in YouTube. But it's definitely a great show. I love it. I love it. It's fun, but it's also very informative because we're talking about things that, just your average couples encounter and need to see that, oh, them too, okay, they went through that. Okay, then, right. Like, we're not the only ones. Yeah, it's just, it gives hope.
Right.
So
and you're
I'm
right about
excited.
that because I've seen your show and all your guests that you have had on that show is completely transparent, and it made
that's
me
a
look
requirement.
Because when you're in a marriage, and especially me, girl, I don't know how to stay married. That's the reason why I need you. I need my marriage coach because I've never been able to stay. I've been married 6 times. It used to be very embarrassing for me to say that, but it isn't anymore. And because I'm healed from that, right? But right, and not to mention, I now understand why I have been married so many times. It has a lot to do with the traumas that I suffered as a child, as an adult. It has a lot to do with that. But on another hand, it has to do with because there was no information for me. There was no one to say, this is what you need to do. This is how you should do it. And dating with a purpose, it says it all to me. It says it all to me. And it's funny that this is coming up because I can remember before I started dating my husband, I was single a couple years, and I said, you know what? I want to get into another relationship. I am a relationship girl. I'm a wife. That's who I am, right? Yeah. But I didn't think that I would be married again because I was like, Venus, you've had your share.
That is hilarious.
Right.
It's okay.
I can remember me telling my aunt, I don't want to be married anymore. I really don't want to have a one-on-one relationship, none of that stuff no more. She said, no, I wouldn't feel like that. And she said, the next time you start dating, date with a purpose. And so it's like, now that this has come along, it's like, I can remember her telling me that. And so, and that's what I did. When it came to my husband, I met him online. And because I'm such a busy person, I don't club and all that stuff. So it's like, listen, okay, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Okay.
Right.
That's all, right? And I can remember me and my husband went on our first date when he picked me up, girl. Oh, girl, Lord, child. I still be looking at him like that, right? Because he's so fine. And so I remember he picked me up, and then I told him on the phone, I said, listen, when you pick me up and you ugly, I'm going to drink all your drinks up at the beach, and I'm catching the Uber home. God is good. Because dating with a purpose, that was one of my things. I said, you got to be cute. You just got to.
Right. That was one of your stipulations, hey.
That is.
Make it plain. But you know what, Venus, you said something real fast. You said something that reminded me and that's why I do what I do. You said you didn't have anyone, right, to tell you. So that's why I do what I do. I want to be what I needed when I was in the valley of my marriage, when I was trying to date, when I was dating with a purpose and I was hitting my head. I want to be that person for others today. That's why I do what I do.
Yes. And I love you and I appreciate
you too.
And I'm just glad that you said yes to the call because I already know, listen, you know that I am God's favorite child, right?
I know. You tell me all the time.
He be in heaven telling all his boys, like, look at that. I know that he be shaking his head at me. So, look, I am just glad you said yes to the call. This call is not easy. I know for a fact because even the assignment that he has given me to speak about trauma, like who? Like, what? Who are you to coach women? What?
Yeah.
But you know, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
People really don't understand the work that goes into this.
Right.
We don't get a lot of rest. We do a
Yeah.
lot of reading, a lot of
Right.
studying. We you know, a lot of
Yeah.
prayer. We pray every Sunday. Every Sunday
Yeah.
we pray. And so it's something else, you know. So I just want to thank you for coming to the show.
Absolutely.
You have
Thank
brought
you for
such
having me.
value. I really appreciate it. And I'm hoping and praying everybody else got what I got from it. And if they didn't, I
I
don't even
hope
know
so.
what they got.
I hope so. Somebody got something. The Lord already
Right.
done told me, girl.
That's right. All right, you guys, listen, that is it for tonight. I'm glad that you dropped in for coffee chat with the beautiful Miss Tamora Johnson, aka Tam. She said call her Tam, y'all.
Come,
Call
Tam.
her Tam. So with the Miss Beautiful Tam, dating with a purpose, honey. And if you are catching this replay, get you a notebook. Get a notebook and write this stuff down because Tam charges. She's coach. So this is free. Y'all better get it, girl. Cause I got my notes. Okay, I ain't playing with it. I got my little notes, child. So anyway,
Right.
guys, I will see you next week. You guys have an amazing week. I mean, have the best week of your life. Do it all the way on purpose.
Yes.
All right. See you guys next week. I love
Bye,
you.
you guys.